So we can now move on to evaluate the fairness of the last type of digital object, the canned analysis. So in this case, by clicking on the Analyses tab in the datasets landing page, we can access information about all of the analyses which have been generated from this dataset. So in this case, we can go ahead and click on the first result here. And so here we see an example of a landing page for a canned analysis entitled Small Molecules Which Mimic E2F1 Knockdown. So the analysis was generated by analyzing the GSE 50588 tool, dataset, which we just evaluated, by means of two separate tools, L1000 CDS square and characteristic direction. As before, we can also observe a fairness insignia on the top right corner, and we can also access the Fair Metrics tab to evaluate the analysis using the 9 questions. So in this case, the first question asks whether the analysis has an informative title and description. So as we can see from the overview section in the landing page, the canned analysis has both a title and a description. So we can answer this question positively and add a link to the canned analysis homepage on the Datasets Tools website. The second question concerns the metadata associated to the analysis. And as before, we can also see that some metadata is provided on the landing page. So the answer to this question will be positive, and we can add a link to the metadata on the comments. The third question asks whether the metadata applied uses a formal, broadly applicable vocabulary. So while the provided metadata is useful to better understand how the analysis was generated, it does not follow any formal ontologies. So the answer to this question will be negative. Similarly, the fourth question asks whether the provided metadata allows users to reproduce the analysis independently. So in this case, some information is provided as to the parameters used to generate the analysis, but no source code for the analysis is provided. So the answer to this other question is also negative. The fifth question asks whether the canned analysis is freely accessible through online. So to evaluate this, we can click on the View button on the Datasets Tools landing page. So this button redirects us to a page on the L1000 CDS Square browser website, which displays the results of the analysis. So the answer to this question is positive. And we can paste the link to the analysis landing page in the comments. The sixth question asks whether the results are presented in an intuitive and easily comprehensible way. So on the L1000 CDS Square website, we have a detailed explanation of the results, including what each individual line means, the perturbations, cell lines, doses, time points associated to each signature. So the answer to this question is also positive, and we can put a link to the website in the comments. The seventh question concerns version of the analysis. So in this case, no versions for this analysis are provided, so the answer is negative. The eighth question asks whether the contact information for the developer of the analysis has been provided, and so the answer to this question is also negative. So finally, the ninth and final question asks whether information is provided on how to cite the analysis. And similarly to the previous one, the answer to this question is also negative. So once the evaluation is completed, we can go ahead and submit it. And as before, we can visualize the results of the evaluation in the fairness insignia in the top right corner. So in this case, we can see that only 4 out of the 9 questions regarding fairness of this analysis have been positively answered. So this could potentially indicate that the developer of the analysis could improve the fairness of this analysis in multiple ways.